Well, greetings, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of WTF Walk the Floors. I'm Stephanie Ledger, Chief Excellence Officer of First Rate Hospitality, and I have my co-host here, Michele Kline of Kline Hospitality. How are you?
Good. How are you, Stephanie?
Very well. So let's just start off that this is our 1 year that we have been doing our recordings on a weekly basis. And we're just growing throughout the year and learning more and more about podcasts and being on YouTube. But yay, 1 year.
Yes, 1 year. 1 year of inspiring, 1 year of training, 1 year of pushing through, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, lovely.
So on this episode, we're excited that we're going to have a guest speaker. And Michele, what are we going to be talking about today? And who
We're going to
is
be
our
talking
guest
about
speaker?
valet parking and everything around valet, which is really the first impression when you get to any property. And we have a very special guest, Luke. Luke and I don't pronounce last names. Here's the disclaimer. I attribute that to English not being my mother language. And I always tend to pronounce the last names whichever way I think is like the European way to pronounce it. So, Luke, introduce yourself. Luke and I have worked with each other for a long time back in the gaming industry. Luke, tell us who you are. Please say your last name, who you work for today, and tell us a little bit about your background in the industry.
Yeah, good morning, Michele. Good morning, Stephanie. My name is Luke Zeysing. And I have been working in the hospitality industry for a little over the last 20 years. I started out in hospitality and food and beverage. And I worked all through high school and early in my college years in food and beverage. And then I've spent the last 17, 18 years in hotel. And so I'm now the business development and director of hospitality for LAZ Parking.
Wonderful. Welcome. We're so excited.
Yeah. Thank you. And congratulations on your 1 year.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit more background about development with working with hotels for parking, because that is a trend that we are seeing now of hotels starting to outsource more of this department.
Yeah, kind of along the lines of what Michele was saying, the valet experience really is the make or break, really sets the tone for the entire experience, at a hotel. And a lot of our hotels here, especially here in Las Vegas, are always looking to really elevate the service. And, having valet is really the icing on the cake. And it also really, like I said, it's the first impression. And really at the same time, it's the lasting impression that oftentimes guests have, when they leave the hotel. And so not only do you set the tone, but you have the opportunity, if there was any type of breakdown, to really rescue that experience.
That is so interesting that you say that, Luke. It's not only the first, but also the last encounter with any team member from a hotel. And how awesome is it for you to be on that side now, having the experience that you have, that you bring from being on the operations side. So I'm sure that you're able to train your teams in a way where they can truly embrace that connection with the guest, and then on the other hand, make the transition between team members from the hotel and team members from LAZ Parking seamless.
Yeah, without a doubt. And a lot of it is, really just, taking the time to slow down and make sure every guest feels valued. And that's how we train, is we really want everybody to live in the moment, and take their time and truly, try and make the experience memorable for each and every guest. A lot of our guests, they save up, all year long, and this is the one vacation they might go for the entire year. And we have to teach our team how valuable and what a memorable experience, the opportunity that is.
Absolutely. And I like how you mentioned every guest, because we always forget too that we may have the locals or one guest that are staying at another hotel and they're coming to the property to be able to experience a restaurant or a show or just being able to walk around or in the casino. And for Valet is really creating that warm welcome, even if they aren't staying at the hotel, but still arriving up to the porte cochere.
Yeah, without a doubt, we treat every guest, the same way, and whether they're coming just to, for a little staycation or they've traveled across the world, they're here to visit the property, and it's our job to make sure that they have a memorable experience.
Perfect. And then can you go into a little bit of how do you go about also too with planning logistics for staffing, to any tidbits to give to our listeners? Because with valet parking, you try to go based upon events or occupancy, and then all of a sudden it doesn't go according to plan, but you still need to making sure that you're having your staffing and logistics there to making sure that we can get cars moving along.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we work really closely with the hotel teams in the city as well to make sure that we're very up to date with any big meetings or conventions or groups that are coming in house, and making sure that we're dialing in our staffing to accommodate those big arrivals. And a small hotel where there's maybe 200 arrivals is very different than a hotel or a convention where we have 60,000 attendees. So yeah, you do really have to pay attention and be dialed in with your staffing.
Wonderful.
So crucial to know exactly what's happening, right? Whether you are on a convention space and then have your team truly comprehend what is happening beyond those doors, right? Because more than likely, as soon as the guest drops their keys, the first thing they're going to do is ask for directions or ask for something specific. And if the team is not truly aware of or in tune with what's happening beyond the door, whether it is a resort or it's a gaming property or it's a restaurant, right? Or shopping mall, we see that all the time, how sometimes you get there and they have no clue how to direct you. And it's so crucial to ensure that they know what's going on.
Yeah, and every day we meet, multiple times a day, we'll meet with our team and provide pre-shifts and, buzz sessions to make sure that all of our team members are adequately informed with all of the latest information. And that information is constantly changing, throughout the day. So we really have to make sure we're staying on top of having that accurate info.
Oh,
Luke, how do you...
key.
Sorry, Stephanie, go that again.
I said communication is key. We love having pre-chef just talking about to our team.
For sure, yeah. Luke, how do you go about keeping your team engaged and motivated when you deal with the elements of nature, right? Either super warm weather or rain or whatever that looks like, since, your team is out there all day long, every day. How do you keep them engaged and excited about being and doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, and I think you got to stay ahead of it, right? And you got to be, number one, you got to be knowledgeable about the weather and the elements. And we're in Las Vegas, and it can get very hot, it can get very windy, and so we need to be compassionate, right? And I think now more than ever in today's world, you have to be compassionate with what the frontline team members are doing, and making sure that we're keeping them hydrated and making sure that they have shade when they need to, and making sure that when they understand if they they're a little overheated, it's okay to take a little break and cool down. Go get a glass of water. But really just making sure that we're knowledgeable and that it's part of the pre-shift, and we have a routine that when it's over 90 degrees, we're constantly pre-shifting and discussing with all of our team members to stay hydrated. And a valet, you're oftentimes you're running, you're working very hard, so all the more reason that you have to keep water coming in the body.
Great tip, so simple, and something that maybe not everybody's really thinking about, right? Making it part of your pre-shift meeting so that you bring people to earth and remind them that they matter most.
Yeah, and setting those expectations, right? The days leading up. Hey guys, it's going to be hot. Make sure you have sunscreen on, and hey, it's going to be cold. Add an extra layer on. It does get cold in Las Vegas, but making sure that everybody, that we kind of set those expectations, because it's really important to mentally prepare to work in 110-degree weather. And it takes a little bit of a mental toughness that's required.
Wonderful. And then Luke, how's been your recruitment process? Because we're also too hearing a lot, we're losing the momentum with the younger generation coming into the hospitality workforce, and especially in valet. It's a department where I think that we rely heavily on the younger people, because there is a lot of running momentum going around. But discuss a little bit about your recruitment process as well.
Yeah, so we've kind of got a wide-ranging recruitment process. So we have, the nowadays the traditional process where, you can go onto our website and you can apply directly for a job. But we've literally got a job fair at the office today that we're hosting. Really, kind of going back to the basics a little bit in today's world. We think that a lot of the younger generation gravitate to more memorable experiences, and so we're going out and we're trying to find those team members and going to the team members, whether it's going out to a university and handing out flyers, or going to the local grocery store, going out and finding applicants and candidates the old-fashioned way, prior to the internet. And but I think more than anything, you've got to be diverse in today's world, and so we've got a really good wide-ranging overview of everything.
Wonderful. Well, we love it when seeing the managers going out there and doing the recruitment instead of just being behind the computer relying on the technology.
Walking the floors.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which leads us to the final and last. What is your most mouth-opening, memorable experience in hospitality? And if you can, specifically to valet.
Yeah, so I think when I first started with Caesars Entertainment, and it started to rain a little bit. I was here in Las Vegas, and they said we might have to shut down valet, and I said, well, what do you mean? Why would we have to shut down valet for a little bit of rain? And they said, well, we won't have a driveway to get the cars in and out. And I was kind of just puzzled by that. And soon after, I learned that the Link Hotel, or it's the Link Hotel now. Previously, it was the Imperial Palace. The property was built on top of a wash, and the wash lets out underneath the hotel, which the channel for the wash is the driveway. And so you're unable, unfortunately, the driveway turns into a river. And it's not just 2 or 3 inches. We're talking
literally a river.
Feet. Yeah, I know, Michelle, you remember this, and they sense they don't have these issues anymore. But I've had valet team members that were had been there for 30 years, and they described at one point they were pushing cars through the water. They were literally the cars were floating. So that was definitely a very eye-opening and a mouth-dropping experience for me.
I kind of knew I figured that's where you were going with your story. That is so funny. When I was at that property for the very first time on the job, I heard as well, like, rain is coming and this is what's going to happen. I was like, yeah, whatever. No way, right? And here I am standing. Do you remember that area that led from the retail hallway towards the terrace?
Uh-huh.
And there's these big windows that literally will face the river when it rains. And I was standing staring at it, and I could not believe what I was seeing. And I had a group of EVS team members. For those of you in non-gaming, EVS is our public area department cleaners with laundry hampers, literally laundry hampers, turned upside down, trying to catch the water. It was mind blowing. And I was like, no, that can't be right. I think the water just needs to flow. So, yes, and no, I don't think the problem has gone away. I think it's still running through.
Yeah, no, I think they've got it channeled now, or that we park the cars in a different area now. But
Okay.
yes, it is. It's definitely worth a Google search.
For sure.
To
Yes,
take
for
a look
sure.
at those videos.
I'm sure there are YouTube videos somewhere out there. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of the flooding, like we've been experiencing that a lot here in Miami for the hotels, and especially right now since we're getting ready for another hurricane and more rain to come. But going along those stories, the funniest that I seen, it wasn't at that hotel, but it was here in Miami, is we were going through another flooding of the street and the cars couldn't get up to the porta cochere. So the valet was taking the bell carts to the car, and then we had these ladies who were just coming back from a night out, and they were being transported onto the bell carts from the car up to the hotel, to making sure that their shoes weren't going through the water.
That's luxury service at its finest.
For sure. Yes.
It's just like, where are we?
That's great. Thank you so much, Luke. I loved your story. That is awesome. How can we possibly shut down Valet for a little sprinkle of water? Just wait for it. This was great. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing your insight on how LAZ Parking does things. And obviously, recruiting is a major top of mind topic these days, and to see that you guys are truly embracing the thought of not only the guest and the relationship with your business partners, but also with your team members, and keeping them engaged and motivated and hydrated. I love all of that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, and hopefully I can come back maybe on for the 2nd year anniversary.
Sounds good. We'll hold you to it.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Have a great one.
You too.
See everyone next time.
Thank you.